This is three 1965 XL-500s. I don't know, may not ever see three in a row again. Most of these have both new pistons and cylinders, or new pistons and rings. I think two of them have new pistons and cylinders. The other one has just new piston and rings. Well, they all have new rings. This one has the very rare heat exchanger option on it. This is an American-made, US-made Homelite XL-500. That's quite a bit newer bar on it, but it's a good bar. This is another US-made XL-500. This is all original. It's in good shape, runs good. Good muffler. The very, very early XL-500s had a 2-bolt muffler. That is, that there wasn't a third bolt on the cylinder. And I think I can show you what I mean. This one right here, if you look behind it, there is no place on the cylinder, no bolt on the cylinder. This would have differentiated the A cylinder from the B cylinder. The later Model 65s had a block mount right here. You see this block mount, that's a bolt place for a cylinder bolt going from the muffler. This one also has it. You can see behind there. So the very early ones had the 3-bolt cylinders, and the early one didn't. This XL-500 is a Terrybilt, and don't know if you'll see many of those Terrybilt. XL-500s. I don't know if I've ever seen one or heard of one. This one has an NOS zinc-plated muffler. I chrome-plated the other mufflers because I like the way they look. This one right here has an NOS new old stock tank with the wick filter. And it has a good cylinder and a new piston and new rings. This one has new piston and new rings, good cylinder. This one has a new cylinder, new piston, new rings. This one also has sort of a new wick filter, or an old style filter. You can tell the new style on the XLs or the Super XLs, the line comes out, the fuel line comes out right here. The old ones go down on a copper line and hooked to a wick filter. This one I converted to a modern filter, but it still looks like a wick filter on the outside. I put 2 filters on the double stage filter on it from the inside, so it still looks like an original when they all 3 have bumper spikes. This one also is an original wick filter and runs good. This one runs good. So we got 3 XL-500s here in top-notch shape, restored and non-restored. And my next project is on the bench, is the XL, or the VI 922, which that'll give me a VI 922, 944, and 955, as well as the 2 VI 123s. I also have a an XL-98C that's getting a new piston and cylinder and rings, and a Super 1050 I still have to find a crankcase for. It's kind of broken off on one leg. I could do without it, but I don't need it. But I want it because I don't want the broken leg off the case. It'll run without it fine, but just looks like hell. I removed my videos from YouTube except for a couple, which I'm moving over to another social media platform. I've divested myself from Facebook, from Instagram, Twitter, Chrome, Google, and all the other social media platforms because I don't believe they're an American tradition. It's not American to stop people whose political beliefs you don't believe in. We are allowed to believe in socialist and communist, and those people are afforded freedoms. We're allowed to express religious freedoms, mostly. If anything, it's probably more Christian religion gets more blowback on social media than any other religion, and the same thing with political views. Conservative ideology is not thought of well, but every other ideology, including socialism and anarchy and communism, is all afforded protections on social media. I've never fit in well because I speak my mind. And this isn't about hate speech. It's about speech they hate. I don't care who they are, what person is, what color they are, or whatever. A man is a man is a man, but you got to be a man for me to respect you. If you're not a man, and I define a man as that person who makes his own way, doesn't live off the government, doesn't live off taxpayers, respects others' point of view. Respect mine. You don't have to like it. You might hate it even. I don't care. But don't deny me mine. Don't deny my right to live or work, because that's happened to me already. I've been denied opportunities because I wouldn't allow someone control over my Facebook passwords or my content, or an employer to have those Facebook passwords or see that content. Or when I did, then I was shunned by friends and family. Now, if that's your type of America, that's fine. And I know that there's some places that you can go they will have control over that sort of thing. I was in an organization like that. It was called the United States Army. And unfortunately, our military is no longer that, because apparently our new society has deemed that the Army can't be prejudiced against people. And I don't mean prejudiced in black or white or Hispanic or Asian, whatever, but we have a rule. We used to have requirements in the Army that you had to be so tall, that you had to weigh so much. You couldn't be well overweight or way too short, or have physical detriments and diseases and limitations, because you were fighting men. But now we have the ability of people who have different levels of psychosis and beliefs of whether they are of what gender in our military force. And this is a problem, because whenever someone is compromised in no matter what way, it gives the enemy an in, and it strengthens our enemies, because our whole military strength is compromised. I can't get into the NBA if I'm 4'11". I can't get into the NFL if I don't perform well. But yet, most of the people that belong to these organizations believe that we should be able to let people in our U.S. military that aren't able to perform at that level, and that we should lower the standards. And I'm not in one of those agreements. Now, I don't make those rules. That's somebody else. But when this nation comes under fire, and we are in need of people to defend this nation. It doesn't look like we have young people that are willing and able to do that. I don't see young people that are willing to join up into the military and serve their country as much as we did in the past. And that's sad, because we have people from all over the world that want to come to this nation from nations that aren't good, and yet they want us to change our nation to what their nation was. And I don't understand why we would do that. I would understand why we would try to make it better for all, but not better for, and change it to the type of nations that people came from that were escaping from them. Because I don't see Americans escaping from America and leaving to go to Iraq or Cuba or North Korea. Because tell me, if you know anybody, I'd sure like to hear of it, is how many people have left the United States to go to a socialist country and live there, because I don't see a great deal of them. As far as immigrants, this country is built on immigrants. I welcome immigrants. We couldn't have done the work we've done in the last 20, 30 years without immigrants. But both parties have been playing the immigrant situation to their advantage or disadvantage. And the only one it hurts is both the immigrants and the American workers. And what we're seeing right now in America is the people in our government, in our Congress, dividing this nation by white and black to promote their agenda to hurt us all. Both parties are doing this, not just one, both. And they're afraid that Americans of all colors and all types will wake up and see that they're not the ones that are helping us. Because I can tell you that most Americans, the large majority of Americans, are not prejudiced or racist. We love people that perform at high levels, whether they're singers, actors, athletes, politicians, but we don't have a lot of those people performing at high levels, whether they're within our religious community or our corporate leadership or our political leadership. We have some people that are very spineless and very cowardly, and they're stealing the wealth of the American people and the American worker for them, not for us, and not for all people working here, legal and otherwise. That's a long rant, but that's what it's for.